Building Boundaries. Hi, and thanks for joining us today to learn what you, as parents of preschoolers, can do to help keep your little ones safe from sexual abuse. Of course, we don't expect preschoolers to be responsible for their own safety, but even at this age, they can learn some things that will help them. And that's why we're here today. We want to talk about 4 things you need to know that will help your children stay safe. What to teach your children about their bodies, how to recognize warning signs in your child, how to respond if your child tells you about inappropriate behavior, how to respond if your child tells you about sexual abuse. What to teach your children about their bodies. Don't worry, you don't have to scare them or talk about sex. Instead, teach them the names of all parts of their bodies, rules about touching their bodies, and what to do if someone tries to break these rules. Names of all parts of their bodies. As parents, we talk with kids about their bodies all the time. When they're babies, we play with them while teaching them to identify their eyes, their ears, their noses, their toes. When you think about it, talking to children about their bodies doesn't have to be difficult. Toddlers have lots of curiosity about their bodies and lots of fascination with their private parts, especially during potty training. So the preschool years are an easy time to talk about all body parts. Many experts agree that the best practice is to teach children the anatomically correct names of all parts of the body. Now, we realize that some of you may not feel comfortable doing that and will choose other words instead. What's important is that you talk to your child about body parts and that you name private parts in that discussion. This will give your child words to use when he needs to tell you about an injury or rash or other problem in that area. Rules about touching their bodies. Once your child knows the names of the body parts, she needs to know that there are rules about touching her body. That way, if someone breaks the rules, she can tell you. Preschoolers understand the idea of rules. They know there are rules about hitting and biting, rules about playing nicely with others, and rules about being safe, like wearing seatbelts. As you teach these rules, just add rules about touching their bodies. For example, you can say, "Your body belongs to you, and you can decide who touches you. You don't have to kiss or hug anybody if you don't want to." You can say, "Tell me if someone tries to hurt your body or touches your body in a way that you don't like." And add rules about private parts too. You can say, "Your private parts are special, and so they have special rules like, never let other people touch your private parts unless mommy or daddy knows about it." Teach your children that they should not touch other people's private parts either. You can reinforce these rules during bath time or when getting dressed. What to do if someone tries to break the rules about touching their bodies. Your children need to know what to do when someone breaks the rules about touching with them. They need to know what to say to someone who breaks the rules, to move away from someone who is breaking the rules, and to tell you or another adult if someone breaks the rules about touching. Teach your child to say no, or "No, don't touch my private parts," or "My body is private, you can't touch me there," or "Leave me alone," or simply "Don't do that." Teach your child to say this to other children as well as to adults. Practice saying phrases like these with your child. Teach your child to move away from any adult who is breaking the rules about touching. Tell your child that it's okay to get out of someone's lap or pull away from a hug, even if the adult asks them not to. Teach your child to tell you or another adult if someone breaks the rules about touching them. Teach your child to say, "Randy touched, asked to see my bottom," or "Stacy wanted or made me touch her bottom." How to recognize warning signs in your child. Now, let's talk about how you can intervene if someone is breaking rules about touching with your child. No one knows your child better than you. So, as parents, watch for warning signs, listen for warning signs, follow up when you see or hear warning signs. If something is wrong, you may see a sudden change in behavior. An outgoing, active preschooler may become withdrawn or anxious for no apparent reason. An easygoing preschooler may become angry and fitful, or he may start having toileting accidents. You may see that he is having trouble relating with his peers, or you may see that he no longer plays with someone he used to play with often. Listen to what your child tells you. Sometimes warning signs can be subtle. It might be hard for some preschoolers to come to you and say, "That person touched my private parts." Instead, you may hear, "I don't want to go to daycare anymore," or "I hate Miss Martha," or "I want to stay with you. Don't make me go to church, school, the neighbors, etc." You may have the feeling that your child is whiny when she has not been before. You may hear your child using baby talk, although she has not done so in a long time. If you see abrupt changes in behavior or hear unusual comments, follow up. Try to find out what's going on. Find a quiet time when your child seems relaxed and talk to her. Keep your questions open-ended so that you don't lead or frighten your child. Say something like, "You seem quiet lately. That's not really like you. What's going on?" Or, "Tell me things that make you mad." Or, "Tell me what's happening at daycare." You may say, "You hate Miss Martha? Tell me what happened to make you feel that way." Or you may respond, "I want to keep you with me as much as I can, but sometimes I can't. Let's talk about what happens when you're not with me." How to respond if your child tells you about inappropriate behavior. If your child tells you about inappropriate behavior, such as someone who is too physical with her, ask her to give you an example. If the interaction was inappropriate, but not actual abuse, talk with the appropriate person. You are your child's best advocate, and for the first 3 years or so, you are his voice. Always express your concerns to someone when your preschooler shows reluctance, anger, or sadness about attending care. Never allow someone to make you feel that you are being silly or overreactive. If you have a concern, state it. Follow up. Continue to monitor your child and the program. How to respond if your child tells you about sexual abuse. If your child describes an incident of abuse, you will want to respond in a way that comforts her, encourages her to continue talking, and reassures her that telling you is the right thing to do. First of all, stay calm. This will be very difficult for you, but it's important that you put your child at ease. Whatever your own emotions, try not to raise your voice or cry. Seeing you upset may make the child stop talking because he sees that what he's saying is hurting you. Second, comfort your child. For example, say, "I am so glad you told me this. I love you, and I will keep you safe. What happened is not your fault." Don't ask your child why she didn't tell you sooner, because you don't want to make her feel guilty or wrong. Third, listen carefully. Listen carefully to what your child tells you. Your child may be scared and may not give you many details. As you listen, you can ask questions to get more specifics like, "Can you tell me more about it? What did they do? Where did this happen?" Fourth, do not threaten or criticize the person your child is accusing. Although it's a natural response, chances are your child knows the person well and may even care deeply about him. Your anger could scare your child, causing her to change her story so the accused won't get in trouble. Finally, report. Call Child Protective Services or call the police. Even though this is a tough step to take, it's an important one. Reporting to the authorities will not only protect your child, but it will also protect other children. As a parent, you play an important role in your child's safety. So, we hope that you'll use the information we've given you today to teach your children ways that can help them stay safe. In the end, of course, it's up to us as adults to do all we can to prevent child sexual abuse. It's up to us to create safe environments for our children. Teaching them about their bodies, recognizing warning signs, and reporting our concerns are important first steps.